already know, matter is everything that takes up space and has mass. When things take up space, we often need to measure them. That's our topic today. Let's check that. Volume is one way that we can measure matter. To understand volume, ask yourself the following question. How much space does an object take up? Observe the objects behind me. Which one occupies the most space? Exactly, the cotton candy is bigger in volume than the apple. Mass is another way of measuring matter. Mass answers the question, how much matter does the object have in it? Or how heavy is it? We use a measuring scale to measure the mass of an object. We can measure the mass of different objects and know which ones are heavier and which ones are lighter. Let's use the same example. Now, tell me, which one is heavier? The cotton candy occupies a lot of space, yes, but it's not heavy at all. Now, an apple is heavier than the cotton candy. That means the apple has more mass. See? It's really simple. Temperature is another way of measuring matter. Temperature answers the questions, how much hot or cold an object is. We use a thermometer to measure the temperature of an object. Let's see how these food items are arranged according to their proper temperature. Okay, let's start. Ice cream is very cold, so it is put in the freezer. The cheese is cool, so we put it in the fridge. Potato chips are at room temperature and can be kept in the cabinet. Pot of soup is always served hot, so we keep it in the stove. Density is the word we use to tell how tightly packed things are. Solids, liquids, and gases have different densities. When something has more density, it sinks and something less tightly packed will float. Think about the oil floating on a soup. Which one do you think has more density? The oil or subroot? Subroot is denser than the oil. Now, let's compare the density of two different solids. A block of concrete and a block of styrofoam. These two blocks have the same volume. They take up the same amount of space. But which one has more density? Concrete block is more dense than a styrofoam block. Now, let's compare the density of different gases. Hot air above fire or cool air above ice. Cool air above ice is denser than hot air above fire. Well, that's simple and we will practice this in our class. See you there.